What's up? Video number 2 for Tato. This one is titled Aerial Ace. Pokemon shit, yeah. Today we're going to talk about how we do this shot specifically and how it works with that first shot we talked about in the last video, the Skywalker. And what that's going to let us do is hopefully combo into something pretty flashy as we build towards the Phantom Menace in the next video or two. It's really rad. So typically, this is a sword and shield shot. It doesn't have to be a punch shield, but I think this makes it look extra flashy, so I really like that. As we talked about before with throwing the Skywalker here and throwing something underneath. Sorry, buddy. I hit him in the wiener. That happens sometimes. As we build this shot, whether it's the palm up or the palm down, palm up, palm down, we now have the ability to start to set them up where this ties up, and if we miss, like, that's fine. This aerial ace shot is dynamic, but what it lets me do is kind of move myself, throwing this combo, so I can into a board shoulder. It's a nice roll here. But sunshine, there was nothing aerial about what you just did. I know. This is the good version. This is the simple version that works all the time, where we just have this fluid roll. If they're trying to counter, excellent, your hand is still here. They'll let you either go hip or arm or cross or board shoulder anyways, you just ignore it and go through to your board shoulder, fine. The aerial part, as we're moving and we're fighting, I get to come through here and be in this position and look like a stud. It's pretty exciting. You can add additional combos to this as you become proficient with it. For example, nice and slow, as we're throwing this kind of under, we're throwing there, we can come back down and try to hip. That works out okay. We're also already flowing this direction, so we're able to throw the ass wraps pretty good. Most people are going to rotate though, so my preference is sword side hip. I've done a lot of time on sword side hip, so I like it. So we're into this kind of combo, not so bad. The aerial part can be shorter. We can whoop, and just bring ourselves from this little kind of squatted position, but it's really dynamic to flow into this position. Puts us across, a nice right step, covers kind of everything, and if he's trying to counter in the middle and we're throwing into this position and he's throwing here, we can muscle through that. We've got our body weight and everything going. So as that cross comes, boom, we can let that thing fly. Perfect. Really hard for people with small arms to stop us. Small, tiny arms. But our body weight is pushing. This is so fluid. We're into this. And we'll blast through. The version I would say everybody should do is the simplest little boom, boom, being able to boom. Nice little combo in there, right? Boom. The aerial part is the cool part. This is not overly complicated in my mind. How much time are we on this?
Oh, 3:30.
3:30. Okay, cool. So we've gone really simple. Really quick, frankly, for this. If you want to add it with other pieces of equipment, which I can grab, you still have other weapons to do this stuff with. So you're able to do whatever tie up, throw underneath, and still launch yourself through and transition through there. Super flashy on the board, guys. Florentine's really cool for that, and that still lets you do the picks here to launch to just a regular board shoulder. It's going to look super similar, and they're not going to know what to think anymore. And it's just kind of fun to be able to punish. Boom, boom, boom. Easy peasy. So that flowy motion is big. I expected this video to take longer, however, pretty straightforward. So that's Florentine single sword if you're doing it in this. I mean, this is just like really stunting on somebody to do it, and like, you know, to each their own on that. You know, you're still in your thing, we've still been kind of picking here. We're still through that, still pretty good. And if they're throwing on this outside, your hand is still here, you're still hanging out. So it's a nice, dynamic, aggressive kind of shot that you can punish somebody in single for. And I mean, frankly, if you're here and you did take this shot, a simple chop would suffice, but that's not quite that cool. And if you want to get airborne, you can do it from back here while you're putting yourself all the way past and through them. and then you hit them and you go. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the aerial ace in a nutshell. It's basically just a board shoulder wrap. I like it to come from under and kind of roll into this location, like it's sort of that X on the shield versus straight over the top. Not everybody talks about it, so I guess I will. Lots of people love to throw on this plus, so they're going over the, let's go from here. So trying to go over the top, which is fine. Dome shields are pretty common, and at this point they've become very popularized. And the top is usually a death sentence. But on this X kind of axis, for any of these shots, I just like better. So if we're following that and we're coming through here, I still like to throw it sort of on this sort of line. It's a little shallow, so I feel a little safer. And since we're doing something dynamic, we can really get away with being over them. So even on the shallow, it's not so bad. And if we want to see it from behind, we kind of show that. So over the top, right, pretty covered. When we're talking about this one, putting myself way across that axis, and that's really good. Now, if he turns, he doesn't want me to hit him. We're gonna have him try to block it here, and skewed results. So maybe he blocks, maybe he doesn't. But we're kind of picking, we're doing our thing. That's okay. We're still in that position, right? That's all right. And like we talked about, if that doesn't work, comboing into sword side hip is really good. So I'll show just like the simple example. So again, he's gonna try to block it, which we're kind of expecting. We've been picking here, we don't like it. Boom. We're still dropping into that kind of hip. Go to other hip if you want. That'll be a really sweet combo. So this aerial ace kind of thing is mostly just like a transition with a thought process that high board shoulder can be the hero, and especially throwing it on that axis. I think that's pretty much the shot, man. So we'll move on to the next one. If I'm bored, maybe more at Spring War or next week or something. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are the best.